Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Faith.
And we are Mommy Drinks Politics, where we drink
and talk politics.
Yes, please. Okay, what's next?
War.
Huh.
Good God, Joe.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Say it again. Okay, so I don't think people want to hear us sing.
No.
So what's going on with the war with Iran or with Iran?
So I'd heard, again, not following super closely, but with the wonderful magic that is the Facebooks, you see things.
The Facebooks. I love it.
Yeah. So we have an aircraft carrier somewhere over there in the Middle East, and we had a drone that was flying over Iranian airspace.
Do you know why? I mean, do we have any clue why?
I don't know why.
Well, that doesn't surprise us. They wouldn't tell us why they flew the drone there.
Right. But they shot it down. Iran did. And John Bolton, being one of the president's advisors, been around a long time, and he's always been a warmonger, always tried to get us to go to war in the Middle East, and he wanted to fire a missile into Iran, and the president asked him how many people that would kill. And he said 150. And the president put stop to it, which, good.
Yes.
Good for him.
Yes. Well, I think one of the questions for me is, why does the president have a principal advisor who is a warmonger?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
He should not.
Yeah. So do you think this war with Iran is inevitable?
I pray it doesn't.
Yeah.
We can't afford the wars we have right now in the Middle East.
Yeah, I agree.
Adding one more to that is
Yeah.
going to be a disaster.
So you're conservative, I'm a liberal, but we totally agree that we've got too many military campaigns going on.
Yes.
Do you think that most of America thinks like that, or do you think it's just us sitting in our cars drinking coffee?
I would like to say there are more people who are not for war. I think more people recognize that we're not doing anything over there anymore. We just have bases, and we have our sons and daughters that we're still sending over for what?
Yeah.
We don't know.
So I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who is a veteran and who served tours in Afghanistan and in Iraq. And I was pretty much like, oh, we're just over there for oil. And he's like, I spent a long time at war and we were not over there for oil. And he's like, I can tell you that we helped this person and that person and the other person. And it was a really interesting conversation, because I told him, I was like, listen, it's like, you guys go to war and we don't know why, because politicians won't tell us the truth, and you guys don't want to talk about it. And we don't want to make you talk about it, because we understand that, it brings back bad memories, and we don't want to have conversations with veterans knowing that they've had to do some really difficult, emotionally difficult things. We don't want to stir up any negative feelings. But I think it creates this really interesting environment where they won't talk for good reason. We don't believe the government. And so it almost feels like we're left to our own devices to figure out, or to think of random reasons why we're over there. But we have no clue, really.
I mean, if you look at our federal budget, the war part of it, how much we spend on our military, is the largest part of our debt and our spending, and it's unaccounted for. A huge portion of it. The Pentagon's like, whoops, billions of dollars, we don't know where it went. So to me, anytime you're talking about politics and why anything is happening, always goes back to the money.
Yeah, always.
Who's getting the contracts? How close are they to the certain members of Congress, or the connected lobbyists and all that? It's all money.
Yeah. when I was fresh out of college, I worked for a certain company that I won't say who they are, but they did a lot of military work with like helicopters and airplanes. And I remember praying, like everyone in the company like praying that we were going to go to war. Because when you go to war, the company makes more money. You know, it's good for the shareholders. And me being young was just like, oh yeah, this is what we do. Yeah, let's go to war. Yes, the company can make more money, and eventually it'll trickle down to me, and I'll make more money. And like as a real adult, I realized that is really shallow and just horrible in every way, shape, or form. Like I didn't understand. You know, I was ignorant and young.
I totally used to support war, by the way.
No.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about it. And tell me about why you changed.
It was all 9/11. You know, George W. Bush getting up there saying...
I loved him, like, during that time.
Yes, I did too.
Yeah.
He was my president, and just hearing the rousing speeches, and somebody needed to pay for what I saw on TV.
Can I like make a total aside? Remember Rudy Giuliani back then? He was like totally sane. Like he was like my mayor too. Like he was like really sane back then. Unfortunately, he converted to something different. But I'm sorry, I totally interjected.
That's okay.
Sorry. Go ahead. The rousing speeches.
Yeah, it was just what I saw on TV. When those buildings fell, like somebody had to pay for that. I wanted vengeance. And I thought, yeah, they said Iraq. Saddam Hussein.
Exactly.
Get him.
I was there too. I was totally with the war as well.
Yep.
And I worked for American and was like right there when they were on the phone with the flight attendants who were going through it. And so it was a really horrible time for me. Like I lived through it. And then they shut down all flights, and that was really great. But I remember when it was like, okay, now it's time for you to get back on that plane and tell your families that they need to travel to. And it was like, not ready for this. But yeah, I agree with that war too. Even though it was like, hold up, I thought they were all from Saudi Arabia. But it was like, well, I don't understand war.
Right.
I trust the government. This was, I think, my last time trusting the government. Except for when Barack Obama was president, I always trusted the government when Barack Obama was in office. Honestly. If Barack said it was good, it was good. That's all I needed to hear.
It's still the same people.
No, it was the same people with Barack Obama. That made it totally different.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought, oh, they're from Saudi Arabia. The government said we need to go to war with Iraq. So I was like, yes, that's where we need to be.
Right. So, I agree. I felt the same way.
Yeah.
And the whole weapons of mass destruction thing, they found them. That's what I was told.
When?
At some point much later on.
Gotcha.
But that wasn't, and I actually don't even know if that was true. It wasn't widely publicized. It could have been fake news.
If they really found them, it would have been on everything.
You would think.
It would have been on Fox, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and it would have been everywhere if they would have really found them.
So I believed him.
Yeah.
I believed all of it.
Yeah.
And said, go ahead. And then I had friends that I went to high school with who went off to war.
Yeah.
And one of them was my ex-boyfriend. And I spoke to him at some point when he was on leave. And he was on leave because he was going to 2 of his buddies' funerals.
Wow.
And he was different. He was
yeah,
not
of course
the same.
He was.
I found him on Facebook when he came back, and he was totally different.
Yeah.
And he was anti-war at that point too.
Gotcha.
So I actually know lots of veterans who are now anti-war.
Yeah.
Because they've seen it and they know that it's all
been there, done that. It's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
We agree again. Booyah! That's awesome. Okay, let me ask you a totally different random question. Who was your favorite U.S. president?
Was it Calvin Coolidge?
Okay, why?
I think so. Because he didn't like to do stuff. He didn't like to get in people's business.
Okay.
Didn't think the government should be doing a heck of a lot.
Was he like an isolationist?
Yeah, a little bit. On the economic side, he was just very
small government type guy. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
So,
Well, my favorite president was President Barack Obama.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I love him. Like I cried both times he got elected. Like I cried when I got to show my daughter his daughters. I just cried. I cried every time I saw Michelle. Like, I love him. But I also realized that my love and adoration of him is just like, it's just like the love and adoration of Trump. And I believe that my love and adoration of Barack Obama, adoration and admiration of Barack Obama is part of the problem that created Trump. If you don't think Trump's a problem, great. I do. But people would be like, oh, can you believe Obama did blah, 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 blah? And I'd be like, all Obama has to do is stay black and die, and I support him. Like, that's it. Stay black, die.
Wow.
We're good. I don't care. It's like Barack, Michelle, those little Obama babies. I'm happy. I don't care what they do. I'm with them. But now it's the flip side. It's the same. It's the exact same thing, just the flip side. And
Yes.
And people were like, oh, can you believe that Trump did this, that, and the other? And his supporters are like, we don't care. We love Trump. Make America great again. Let me get another hat. I'm going to get the shirt, the t-shirt. I'm going to get some American flag underwear. You know?
My favorite thing as a conservative, if we ever criticize anything Trump says, it's he's playing 4D chess. You just don't understand what he's doing.
Yeah.
You don't know any better. I guarantee he's got a plan, and he's thought like 5 steps ahead of you on this one. It's all gonna work out.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's
But
what
yeah.
I get.
Yeah, but yeah, I get that I was part of the problem in the fact that I didn't care about, like I was like, I support Obama. Like, you guys can talk about whatever it is you want to. I support him. But now people are saying, I support Trump. Did he kill somebody in the middle of Times Square? Did he rape this woman? And the newest allegation of rape. You know, did he rape this woman? Oh, she's probably horrible anyway. She was asking for it. You know, and I get it. I did the same thing. If a woman would have come out and said Obama raped her, I would have been like, no. This woman's like, oh dear, she's trying to ruin my president's reputation. Barack loves Michelle. He loves those babies. He would never, ever, ever, you know, I just wouldn't believe her. So yeah, I get it.
So the politician worship. That's what that is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, he's the only politician I've ever worshipped. Really, only politician I've ever worshipped.
I'd say I've probably felt the same way about George W.
Okay.
Bush at some point.
Okay. We could talk about George W. Bush for a long time, but
We don't need to.
Yeah. So I really like George W. Bush, especially. I don't know if you remember it because you're a lot younger than me, but remember he gave everybody. Remember when he sent the tax checks out?
Yeah.
For a couple $1,000s, you got a little check for a couple $1,000. I was like, George Bush is my favorite president to date. But then I started traveling, and when I started traveling, they report on George Bush's speeches differently in different countries. They will show the whole speech, whereas here in America, they only show like a little sliver of it. And when you would see the whole speech, you'd realize that he came off a lot less educated, a lot less powerful when you heard the whole speech than he did in the speeches that were reported here in this country. So it was interesting.
That is.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
We're anti-war. We agree. And I love a boom.
I don't love any politician anymore. Screw them all.
You know what? I'll drink to that.